Alright, welcome to my channel, members of the Alphabet Gang. My name is NikStarchild and I make videos about my life as a thriving transgender man. On Tuesdays, I talk about transgender topics or my life. Today, we are talking about my sexuality. Am I transgender and gay? So this will be a controversial video because I don't have a conventional life by many standards, but this is my truth and I want to share it without shame. Hopefully making others out there feel like more comfortable with who they are, because I don't care what other people think about me, and I hope you don't either. So let's get into it. What is my sexuality? It's complicated. Very straightforward. I am queer. If you want to put a title on it, I am a queer person. Am I trans for trans? Am I gay? Yes. My history, as a kid, and discovering my sexuality, I thought, I was heterosexual until probably the end of high school, even though I was like a very, very big ally. And I was pretty gender non-conforming at the time. I never wore dresses, never wore my hair down or in ponytails. I was pretty masculine presenting. But I had dated and hooked up with cisgender boys, and in terms of sexual aspects, I was like mainly into boys for sex. Like, I wasn't dating boys, and I wasn't interested in dating boys. I was mainly interested in them to hook up. Which, is that a blind spot? Maybe. So I've always been pretty open about sex education when I was a teenager and when I was a kid. People would come to me and ask me questions and things, sexual health questions, and I would be the one to answer them. I would say in my senior year, I had kind of like this epiphany or clarity moment. And this kind of happens to me often in life, where I kind of figure out things and I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do. This is the next step. And then I just do it. And so I had this moment. I was laying in bed and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gay. But I knew I wasn't a lesbian. I was like, I don't think I'm a lesbian. I don't know why that word does not speak to me, and I just did not identify that way. And it was true, because I, right after I came out, I was dating women of all types, and I was also dating transgender men. So clearly I was attracted to masculinity, but I didn't date cisgender men at the time. So I was still identifying as like queer, gay, whatever, but I didn't have a full spectrum of like what my sexual orientation was. Let's talk about before and after tea. So before tea, I was just kind of winging it, just flowing, just living in life, hooking up with people, being a little slutty. It was a good time. And then after tea, after testosterone, is when I became a fucking hornball. So, and that's where I wanted sex from, all and anything. Didn't care what your gender was. I don't care. I just want to have sex. Are you interested in having sex with me? Then I want to have sex with you. That's kind of where I was. And I also noticed that my interest in masculinity and men increased on a sexual level at that point, like even more so, that I was really attracted to masculinity and men. But I still noticed that I wasn't really feeling it on a romantic level. So that's where I'm at. And then, I started having sex with men. It was cisgender men, for that matter. It's fun. It's like a mutual exchange of energy. It's a really good time, and I enjoyed it. But I was super turned off by romance or even cuddling, I noticed. So like, dudes would want to cuddle or be emotional or share things, and I just like, ugh, that's gross. Like, leave me alone. Don't touch me. I was really, really not into that. Especially because the last 10 years I've been with my partner, and we have an open relationship, and I'm allowed to hook up with whoever I want, but I have my emotional and romantic needs pretty much taken care of with my main partner. So like, being romantic with other people is like such a turn off. Even with other cisgender women, I'm just like, no, I don't have space in my life for that. I have a dedicated partner. All that energy goes to them. But if you want to fuck, then that's different. That's a different type of energy, and I can share that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my gender, with my sexuality rather. So I've had a lot of different partners over time. Some of them in long term, some of them in short term. Before I was on T, after I was on T, I've been through a lot of things. But overall, I've just determined, I'm a slut, and I'm proud. I like having many different sexual partners, and I enjoy having like a primary partner for emotional connection, and I would prefer that my sexual partners not have that. It took late 20s to kind of figure that out, like what exactly is my sexuality, what is going on here. But after like being on testosterone and really figuring out who I am, and like my interests and my turn-ons and my turn-offs, that is very clear that I just like to hook up with people. and it's okay. There's, you know, the issue of like people, you know, do ask about testosterone, is like, does testosterone make you gay? Does it change your sexuality? I would say maybe. I would say yes and no. So I think it's more of like, if you already had an attraction to a masculinity, to cisgender men before you transitioned before you transition in general, you're probably going to be more comfortable with yourself after you transition, and therefore more comfortable talking to other men and engaging in them in a sexual manner. So I think it's more about comfort. I think it's more about owning who you are and understanding your sexuality after you've kind of gotten a handle of your gender. You're like, okay, the gender's handled, I got it, I know it now. And then now you can actually put your energy into sexuality, and you find out actually you're pretty open, and you got a lot of interests, and you're open to different things. I think there's some studies out there that show that it's about 50% of dudes who transition, who end up their sexuality morphing and changing a bit. So, hey, I think the biggest thing here is like, so what if your sexuality changes after testosterone and now you're more attracted to men? Why does that matter? Who cares? Like, who cares who you're having sex with, who you're fucking? The only people who really care about this typically is cisgender or straight people. They're the ones who are usually doing the research and caring, like, what's going on with the queer people? What are they doing? And the queer people are like, yeah, we're just living. We're just enjoying each other and whatever. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, gotta put people in boxes and put labels on them. So, anywho, that is my I guess my experience in terms of like my sexuality. This is not very in depth, but essentially I'm free. I like everybody. I like human beings. I don't care what your gender is. If I want to have sex with you, I'm going to have sex with you. Am I going to engage in romantic things? No, probably not. Absolutely not. No. But the chances of me interacting with you on a sexual level could be quite high if you are an adult. So that's what it is. That's who I am, and I'm very comfortable with that. And if you're not, that's a you problem. So work it out. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially the Alphabet Gang, learning a little bit more about me and my personal life, maybe that you didn't need to know. I do appreciate you watching and supporting. Of course, you can, you know, like, comment, subscribe. You can check out the links in my description if you want to go above and beyond. And I really appreciate you being here, because you know that creating content isn't easy, especially for transgender people of color like myself. So your support is everything. I appreciate you being here, and I will be back next Tuesday with another trans or video about myself. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.